Hello everyone, Phil here from PCGamesN, and I'm joined by Jordan.
Hello.
Hi, and we're going to be talking about War Thunder in 2017 and beyond, and what we have to look forward to. Now, Jordan, you spoke to Gaijin Entertainment CEO Anton Yudintsev. He had some things to tell you, so why don't we go through what those things were in some sort of cogent order.
Okay, well, I guess we should start with naval battles, because they're still ongoing in the closed beta stage at the moment.
Uh-huh.
Now, when I spoke to him, which was it was about 20th of February.
Precise.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, I had to check it this morning. So he said about 8 more tests needed doing, which means 8 weeks at the very least until they enter open beta. He also said that would probably be around May, so it's all timing up quite well.
So, yeah, so the closed beta events, it wasn't one long continuous closed beta, was it? It was a series of events that, you know, you'd get flagged up on the Friday that it was happening over the Saturday and the Sunday, and that's happened.
Yeah, there were very specific windows that were running over the weekend. They've added a lot more ships as well in the past few weeks, so I think the total now is about 30.
It's a lot of ships.
Yeah.
What else did he let slip?
Okay, so one of the big talking points has been big ships, or, you know, actual destroyers and things, the kind of ships that World of Warships has, but they haven't included for a number of reasons. I asked him why, and it's essentially that they're trying to be realistic as you know, in all the forms of their gameplay.
Yeah.
It's something the aircraft adhere to, it's something the tanks adhere to, and it's especially tied to their damage model.
Right.
And so there's 2 things that are really difficult to do with big ships. First is to make the gameplay both realistic and not take hours, because naval battles take, you know, ages.
Well, they're big ships. They take a long time to get into position and things. And also you're controlling them with, like, WASD.
Yeah.
So
not the most complex system.
yeah.
And the damage model is another problem, because at the moment, say with tanks, it's the same damage model they use with tanks and aircraft, which are, you know,
Right. So
compared to a massive ship,
panel-based.
quite small.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just panel based. It's the internal part of the vehicle as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, you can ammo rack a tank by hitting, you know, where its ammo is stored, and it will set the tank on fire. Shells or like explosions sort of break up when they go through the various layers, and when they get to the inside, they'll start ricocheting, which might mean losing 2 crew members or 3 crew members.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of focus from doing these videos before with you, I remember, on diminishing crew members. That's basically how you,
Yeah.
rather than trying to sink the ship, it's about getting rid of everyone on board.
And so, like, at the moment with fairly small ships, the crew numbers are like 55, which is easily 10 times what's in a tank. Well, more than 10 times what's in a tank. But with bigger ships, you know, it would enter the hundreds, and they'd have to, with the damage model, to keep it consistent, they'd have to model all of those people, where they are in the ship, and, you know, all that stuff. So that's one of the main reasons I think they've avoided it for a while. Here's what he said about what they'll do with big ships. So most likely we'll have everything up to destroyers. It's possible that there will be even bigger ships than destroyers, but they'll only be targets and in-game events, not in the research tree.
So you won't see maps full of destroyer on destroyer action.
No.
All controlled by human players.
Yeah.
It's going to be, well, as he says, in-game events. So you'll get a chance to aim at the big stuff, but not necessarily to. I mean, I don't even know how you'd fit it in a garage. Like, they'd have to create an entire new sort of.
I mean, I assume they'll do what they do. So in the garage system at the moment, it's you have it, your tank in a hangar and your aircraft in a hangar. I assume they just, you know, make a dock or something.
Going to be a hell of a dock for these big ships.
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing, because it'll take so long to make these battles play out, and of course there's an audience for that, but at the same time they want to make a game that you can sort of jump into, because it is a free-to-play game at the end of the day.
Yeah, tricky one, but they are going to appear in some form. We know that much at least.
Again, though, that really only applies to the really big ships like cruisers and destroyers. There is one British tribal class destroyer already being tested in the closed beta, and while it's much larger than the other boats and ships, it's not what you typically think of when you think battleships and naval warfare.
What else did Mr. Yudintsev tell you?
Since we spoke, Gaijin have actually announced the next nation, which is Italy. So the Italian army has actually already been in the game. Some aircraft has been sort of put into the German tech tree. So now those ones are gonna stay, but the Regia Aeronautica, which I can't say in an Italian accent, is going to be fully fleshed out in its own special tech tree. Later they'll add tanks and aircraft, anti-aircraft stuff, and eventually we assume naval vehicles. So that'll start testing as part of the next major update, which I think is update 1.69. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. That does also suggest that further down the line, if they decide to do another nation, it'll probably be France, who have already got some vehicles. I think they're in the British tech tree. So yeah, if they do the same thing that they're doing with Italy and deciding to take a nation they've already looked at and fully flesh out their research tech tree, there's a good chance the one after Italy will be France.
And there's one final inclusion somewhere along the roadmap, which is going to be World War Mode.
Really enjoying that, aren't you? Yeah,
it's
World War Mode.
Good name for a mode, really.
Yeah, so World War Mode has sort of been at like a concept level since the game was announced. So it's a while ago now. It's like 5 years, and it's been worked away on for a while and in like pre-development, but it's finally coming this year. And he spoke a bit about how it'll play out, and I think it's as everyone expected. Instead of it being sort of a session-based game where your progress is match to match, it'll basically mean that the outcome of a battle affects the next one. I don't know about the like grand overarching scheme of it.
Yeah, that always seems fantastically difficult to do, doesn't it?
Yeah, so at the moment, the tangible effects would be like fewer aircraft or fewer tanks available, some kind of limit on resources, like even shells. So, it might make it a bit more difficult if you're losing. But, I don't know how they handle that as a grand thing.
I can't get my head around it. I remember, I think the last game I played that had that persistent element of war was Helldivers, which I think came to PC, but I was playing on PS4. Every time you logged back in, after having done something, you would be informed that basically all of humanity was lost, and like entire planets had been lost overnight and things.
It's
I think
just nothing you want to wake up to, is it?
So it strikes me at the back end of whatever game and whatever server system has to support that is a really, really ambitious thing to do. So I'm guessing that's the last thing on the roadmap. That's like the furthest away.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely slated for this year, and there's no dates on any of these things apart from the Naval Open Beta, which you said a conservative estimate was going to be May.
So we think probably December 31st for World War Mode 2017?
Yeah, maybe. I'd say before then.
So that's basically as much as we know right now. Regarding 2017 plan for Gaijin and War Thunder, so quite a lot to get through, and we'll be keeping you abreast of the updates as they drop on PCGamesN.com and maybe even here on the YouTube channel as well. So if you want some more videos like this, you can always subscribe and hit that bell so that you get alerts when we drop some new content. In the meantime, you can leave us a lovely comment, sending your regards, and we will catch you next time.